Good afternoon and welcome to Wednesday Ramblings. This is the fifth and final week of the message series that I titled Food for the Journey. As I've mentioned on a number of occasions prior to today, it's a little bit disjointed because we've included in our parish during this 5 weeks the celebration of the Sacrament of Confirmation, the celebration of the Feast of Mary of the Cross MacKillop, and last weekend the solemnity of the Assumption of Mary. So really we've had only just 2 weekends, the first and this weekend, to speak about this incredible passage of John's Gospel. However, as many of you know, I've also used the Sunday message series through my podcast to actually make the story known. So if anyone wants to see that, then follow the link that is included with today's ramblings. This weekend it comes a little bit strangely in one sense because we miss out a particularly important passage. It would have been there if we'd been in the normal cycle of readings. We would have heard it last weekend. But this is what John says in just chapter 6 verse 58-59 that leads into today's reading. He says, "This is the bread come down from heaven, not like the bread your ancestors ate, they are dead. But anyone who eats this bread will live forever." And so there is this setting, but we hear immediately that some of the disciples were quite put off by this kind of language. They really struggled because for many of them it was a change in awareness of what God's relationship with them was all about. In the past, they thought of God as being out there who came and interceded for them when they were in need. But they never really saw God as being a God who wanted to be in relationship with them. And that's so key to the message that Jesus brings to us. God is no longer separated from us, but now God is our Father. God is the one who walks with us on each and every moment of every day. And because of that, there is this totally new experience of living and working in relationship with God. So the passage proceeds, and we're again challenged by the fact that Jesus tells us that it is only those who are called by the Father who will be able to come to him. And so there is, for all of us, this reminder that God is wanting us to be one with him. And how do we do that? By coming to him, eating his body and drinking his blood. Now we know that for many that is an incredible challenge. How could something so simple as bread and wine, which we can see, how can that be the body and blood of Christ? Well, ultimately, it's a step of faith. A step of faith that says that through the prayers of the Eucharist, through the consecration, these are transformed, transubstantiation occurs, and they become the body and blood of Christ. There's a passage in the scriptures where Philip meets the eunuch in the Acts of the Apostles, where the eunuch struggles to do something simple, like go and bathe in the river 7 times. And he's challenged, if you were asked to do something much more difficult, would you have done it? And of course his answer is yes. But because it was seemingly simple, seemingly ordinary, he didn't want to accept it. Not trying in any way to diminish the incredible mystery of the Eucharist or the incredible gift that is the transubstantiation of the bread and wine into the body and blood of Christ. But I wonder if it was something more difficult, something more challenging, would it be easier to accept? The fact that Jesus took the bread that was on the table at the Last Supper, blessed it and broke it and gave it to his disciples. He took the cup of wine and blessed it and broke it and gave it to his disciples. And in doing that, he created this Eucharistic meal, which is the centerpiece of our Catholic tradition. So today, as we reflect on the ending of this story, the food for the journey, the Lord is inviting us to be able to make a response that says yes to his invitation, to come to him and to be one with him as we are one as sons and daughters of God. God bless you. Look forward to catching up with you next week when we have another Wednesday Ramblings looking at the scriptures for the following Sunday.